Welcome back to the channel, my friends. What I wanted to talk about today is the future of crypto. Now, I shoot these videos from time to time, really when I feel like there's something worth talking about. So this concept and this topic that I want to discuss is really where I see crypto going. I think it's really incredible where it could go. My role in this is to hopefully shoot this video and talk about it, inspire more people to do this, right? We already see this trend emerging where communities are starting to be created online, right? So this is on social media, this is in Discord, this is in literally, we're talking microcosm platforms and macro, right? It's nothing new, this has been happening, but now it's starting to get interesting about this. There's all these other outside factors now that are adding influence and almost credibility to the whole idea and the whole movement. Like, one could just brush it off and say, yeah, you know, like 1 million subscribers on YouTube, that's cool, you know, but what does that really mean in real life? What does that really mean with XYZ, right? But then we saw the GameStop thing happen. And the GameStop thing really showed people that when we get together around a common goal, we can create change. Well, we can make them hurt nonetheless. At minimum, we can make, you know, the person that we don't like hurt, or we can take a stand and hopefully create change. And now we have more recent events like the Bud Light, the Target, the North Face. You know, you fill in the blank. Movies are tanking at a record rate. Marvel movies like Indiana Jones, all these movies are doing horrendous at the box office. People are really starting to vote with the dollars. So we're starting to see this emergence and this confluence all coming together with the idea of an online community. And so it's like, okay, well, what's crypto's role in this? Well, right now, I think this is probably one of the big reasons why governments around the world are attempting to control it and box it into either commodity or security. I don't think that the big long-term play is Bitcoin. I don't think it's Ethereum. I don't think it's trying to find a Bitcoin or Ethereum replacement. I literally think that it is building a community, a DAO, a coin, a means of transacting, a currency around communities. Now, this concept has the power to, wow, completely break governments. This is a very dangerous concept for governments, because what starts to happen is if we can get a community big enough, if we can get a coin around it, a DAO, basically its own constitution wrapped around how it's going to execute, how it's going to handle the funds, how it's going to be allocated, et cetera, and daily in and out rules and how it's going to operate. We have a national state. We have a nation state that is completely sovereign with its own currency. That is very dangerous. And if that gets big enough to the state, the government has no choice but to accept it, has no choice but to roll it under its protection, under some sort of allowance to a degree, because it's so big and it's such a threat now. And so when we talk about sovereignty, it's kind of funny, you know, going back to my beliefs of sovereignty when I first got into crypto, I didn't really know what the sovereignty was. I pretended like I did, but I really didn't know. And as the years have gone on, I've started to really refine my idea of what that means, my definition of what that means for me. There's a lot of potential here to create change. You've obviously got some hardline issues now all over the world, right? And I think one of the biggest ones is with the kids and what people are now saying they want to be able to do or not do with kids. And I stand with the message like, leave the kids out of this, okay? Leave them the fuck alone. They're too young and too malleable and they need protection. They cannot defend themselves. They need outsiders to protect them, okay? And so you've got issues like that, and you've got a lot of other issues, right? To where there's like this small group of people that the power is concentrated in. Well, now what we're starting to see is that that's not true. It doesn't have to remain true, because it really doesn't matter what they want to do and what their idea is. Like we can bring up the 2030 agenda, we can bring up World Economic Forum, we can bring up whoever we want into this mix. That is all threatened, and that all becomes a lot less of something that we need to directly focus on if all these sovereign nations were to pop up and get so big that they have to be recognized, because that's usually how it goes, right? Bitcoin became so big that it had to get recognized. An issue, a terror threat, all becomes so big it has to get recognized, right? So in the same way that those things get recognized, this thing over here will have to get recognized. My suggestion, and really where I think the long ball play is, especially if you don't have a big stack or you're not so interested in making a bunch of money off crypto, but you're interested in making a big change in the world and you're sick of seeing what you're seeing. There's a lot of people right now that's where they're at. They've now gotten tuned into the information. They've been red pilled, whatever you want to call it. And they are saying, okay, got it. I understand what's going on. I don't like it. It really upsets me. They're transitioning out of the phase of arguing with anonymous idiots on the internet. And they're now like, okay, this is getting old. It's getting annoying, boring. What do? I need action steps. I need a solution. I need a means to move forward. Well, it's very simple. Find like-minded individuals, create a community, link up with other communities, and then your means of transacting in those communities, your means of, you know, connecting together is literally to go back to tribal times and transact with these cryptocurrencies that are backed by the community. That in it has so much potential. Man, it's incredible to actually think about. And I was recently talking to a friend about this. It kind of created a long pause on the call, because both our minds started reeling on like what this actually means and what this could actually do. This could be another means of brute forcing change and affecting change within the United States, within the world, because it has to start within the United States. There's no other country that can start this. It has to start there, and it's going to spread from there on out. But this has the potential to rapidly change the things you don't like. It would have to restructure government. It'd have to restructure all of these three-letter agencies that are not serving the people anymore. And then we could get back to what a lot of people are wanting and yearning for, which is a direction more in line with the Constitution, right? That could help change that. That could help redirect and re-steer the ship. So anyways, I just wanted to drop that idea on you. And I really think that's where the future lies, is more of these groups getting together and then forcing themselves to be known. And the force is not anything violent. It is literally just with the sheer amount of people, the sheer amount of transaction volume that is occurring on that coin, on that chain, whatever it is. And then those groups getting together, and before you know it, they have all the means and everything that they could possibly need all in-house, right? That is a sovereign nation state. That is a sovereign unit. And at that point, it really doesn't need much. Because it doesn't need those things, it almost makes the outside influence of government and a lot of what might try and do to shut that down and stop it, it kind of null and voids that and makes that way more insignificant than you might realize. And a bunch of those happening all simultaneously, which what's beautiful about what we're seeing around in the world right now is that this is organically happening. Nobody's forcing this. Now, the thing that in the piece that I think that they haven't put together is that, now that we got these tribes, that we need a means of transacting. We need our own coin. Now, people have done this for, pump and dumps and, to extract value and money out of their communities. Great example, this would be Logan Paul, to where that was a negative outcome. But I think there can be positive outcomes as well, to where this coin doesn't have to be a pump and dump. This community token doesn't have to be a pump and dump. It can actually be a means of transacting within the community. That's where its value is derived from. Cycles within cycles within cycles. It's kind of funny to see where we're going back as a people. We're going right back into tribal times, to where small, tight-knit communities of like-minded individuals are getting together and they're starting to recognize that they have power, they have a voice. And now if you attach a means of transacting into that community, now the bank accounts, you can take them all you want. You can pull an Andrew Tate. You can try and lock me out of social media. You can try and lock me off the internet. It's not going to work, because now I have a community of people offline that has a means of transacting. So that is where I think the future of crypto is going. I love to think of the beautiful positives that might come out of this and could come out of this if more people get involved. And so that's where I think things are going to go. Bitcoin and ETH will continue to be their commodities and basically state owned. You got to understand, so many institutions have been buying into that stuff since it was $100, $200, right? Those positions are long insulated in, right? And so first off, I don't think it's going to provide the returns that people think, and I don't think it's going to provide the sovereign mission that people are on with that. The Bitcoin maxis beating that drum. Guys, I think you're beating the wrong drum. I don't think it's going to provide what you want. I think it's already been infiltrated. I think it's already been, the value's already been extracted, and now it's literally just going to turn into another state-owned commodity or asset, right? So anyways, that's my thoughts on that. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Share this with a friend if you liked it. Share it with a friend if you think it's going to trigger them. Whatever you want to do. And let's have a fierce debate in the comments below. We'll see you next time.